welcome to this special virtual edition of the RTDNA Canada 2022 East Regional Awards. Today we are celebrating the best of the best in broadcast and digital journalism. I'm Latavia Beezer.
Good evening, Latavia, and I'm Paul Brothers. It's been a real challenging year in many ways, we all know that, and we are happy to take the time to recognize the hard work of all our colleagues in newsrooms across the East region. An
RTDNA Canada Award recognizes the achievements of the entire newsroom. Nothing reinforces our industry's commitment to excellence than the description award winning.
Yeah, RTDNA Canada has been honoring the best in broadcast and digital journalism for over 50 years now, if you can believe it. We can only highlight a few winners tonight, but you'll find a full list of 2022 winners for this region and the rest of Canada, actually. You can go to our website, rtdnacanada.com.
The first award is RTDNA Canada's Lifetime Achievement Award. This award is one of the highest honors bestowed by the association. So it's presented to individuals who have distinguished themselves through outstanding service and continued excellence during the course of their career.
No doubt there. The award is for lifetime achievement rather than for a single contribution. Nominees should have a minimum of 20 years of distinguished service to the industry. So it gives us great pleasure to present the first East Region Lifetime Achievement Award this evening to Linda Swain with VOCM Radio.
You're a part of the wide world of VOCM.
When I started working at CHVO in Carbonear, a station belonging to the wide world of VOCM back in 1989, that was the station ID we used to play. They asked me for an acceptance video, but having worked in radio for 3 decades, it's behind the mic where I'm most comfortable, not in front of the camera. I still think of myself as a pup, but when I hear that, it makes me realize just how long I've been in this business. When I started radio in Carbonear, that's a town in Conception Bay North from where my mother's family belongs, and a place to which I have deep roots and a strong personal connection, tens of thousands of Newfoundlanders were still prosecuting the cod fishery. The Berlin Wall and the Twin Towers were still standing. We still used cart machines and spun vinyl records. And pandemics were something we only read about in history books. I did the opposite of most young people in the 1980s. Instead of leaving Newfoundland for work, I came back to Newfoundland from Montreal, longing for that sense of belonging and with the single-minded determination of making a go of it. Well, 33 years later, almost 34, and following stints in Carbonear and Gander, and eventually moving to St. John's in 1995, I'm still at it, working with people whose parents are younger than I am. I've worked with a lot of famous names in the local radio business over the years. Mike Critch, who a lot of you would know now because his son's popular television program, Son of a Critch. Jerry Phelan, Vince Gallant, Brian Medore, a host of people, some of whom have passed on, others who have moved on to make their mark in other industries, broadcast and otherwise, and a lot of bright young talent who seem to love it as much as I do. I've often had people ask me over the years, why are you still at VOCM? Why are you still in radio? And the answer is, I love it. I love not knowing what's in store from one day to the next. I love the immediacy and the intimacy of radio and of reporting on germinating events that have eventually become part of our amazing and varied collective history. We were social media long before social media was ever a thing. I love working with people who, when one of the largest blizzards in history was bearing down on St. John's and many people were trying to get home as soon as they could, came to work with their bags packed with toothbrushes and lunches and blankets, including me, knowing without being told that what turned out to be Snowmageddon would mean living in the station literally for days. And that's what we did, 3 days. I feel blessed to have had a 3-decade career with the same company when privately owned news organizations have faced some pretty extraordinary challenges. I want to thank those who nominated me for this prestigious recognition, and I accept it humbly, seeing some of the incredible talent represented among my peers and predecessors, and a bit bashfully knowing that I'm probably going to be at this for a lot longer yet. So I want to thank you all very much.
We also want to congratulate the second East Region Lifetime Achievement Award winner, Shelley Steeves of Global News.
Well, I have to say this comes as a complete shock. I didn't even know I was nominated for this absolute honor. I want to thank the RTDNA for recognizing, I guess, my work over the last, oh my goodness, it's been going on 27 years now. Where does time go? Things happen so quickly. I just want to take this opportunity to thank everyone that I've had the honor of working with over the years. There's countless numbers of incredibly talented teams and individuals that I've worked with for over 2 decades now, and it's impossible to name everyone, and for fear of leaving someone out, I won't. But thank you so very much from the bottom of my heart for helping to mold me as a journalist and as a storyteller, and for allowing me to learn from each and every one of you. I will be forever grateful for that. I want to thank the RTDNA for this incredible honor. It's humbling, and to be in a category of a Lifetime Achievement Award really brings a lot of joy to my heart, and it's allowed me to reflect on my career, specifically in the last few years. I want to thank Global News so much for supporting me in feature reporting and in doing what I love to do, which is get out in the community and tell stories about the amazing people in this province and outside of this province. And but a great big thank you to all those individuals over the years who have allowed me into your homes, into your lives. I took it very seriously, and the fact that you shared a piece of yourself with me and allowed me and trusted me enough to tell your stories over the years, whether they were silly stories about people living with goats or more serious stories. Thank you from the bottom of my heart, and I will cherish this award, and I wish you all well, health, happiness, and peace in your lives.
We're honored to highlight some of the RTDNA Canada Awards for the best in video, digital, and audio journalism, first published in 2021. Now, these awards are for the East Region, and they include PEI, Nova Scotia, New Brunswick, and Newfoundland and Labrador.
The first awards we'd like to highlight are for audio, including radio and podcasts. We'll start with the award for Best Radio Newscast. There is only one finalist in this category. The award goes to News 95.7, The Morning News, August 18, 2021, the PC Upset.
When you get into an election campaign, anything can happen. And during the course of this campaign, the tide began to turn slightly against the Liberals. And I think, we're going to have an upset here. And that's my prediction anyway. I'm expecting an upset.
People that want to get rid of the government are splitting their vote between the Tories and the NDP to some extent. At the end of the day, I guess we'll see what happens.
Well, we've gone from a yawner of an election to a nail-biter, I think.
Next to Breaking News Audio, again, there is just the one finalist in this category as well, and that award goes to VOCM News for their coverage of Hurricane Larry makes landfall in Newfoundland. Live coverage with Greg Smith.
Your VOCM Hurricane Larry makes landfall. 12 o'clock this morning, Hurricane Larry making landfall in Newfoundland just off the southeast bight. Maximum sustained winds at the time were 130 kilometers per hour.
We kind of predicted that somewhere around 1:30 Newfoundland time this morning, west of Long Harbour, made landfall across the isthmus of the Avalon.
At the moment, we have 61,000 customers without power. And our first focus, of course, as our customers and your listeners would appreciate, is damage assessment.
And finally, the award for Best Podcast for East Region. There is only one finalist in this category as well. The award goes to Global News for 13 Hours Inside the Nova Scotia Massacre.
This project is dedicated to the memories of Emily Tuck, Aaron Tuck, and Jolene Oliver, Peter and Joy Bond, Don and Frank Galenchin, John Zoll and Joanne Thomas, Greg and Jamie Blair, Lisa McCulley, Corey Ellison, Sean McLeod and Alana Jenkins, Tom Bagley, Lillian Campbell, Heather O'Brien, Kristen and Baby Beaton, Heidi Stevenson, Joey Weber, and Gina Goulet.
We'd now like to highlight some of our digital award winners. We'll start with Excellence in Data Storytelling, and the finalists are CBC New Brunswick, Atlantic Investigative Unit, ATV and Snowmobile Fatalities, and CBC Prince Edward Island, PEI's Changing Job Picture. Workers and bosses face new realities. And the winner is CBC New Brunswick, Atlantic Investigative Unit, ATV and Snowmobile Fatalities.
ATVing is a popular pastime throughout Atlantic Canada. Some like the mud or the speed. Other riders love the feeling of freedom and being out in nature. It's a sport unlike any other. But on ATVs and other off-road vehicles, like snowmobiles, things can change in an instant.
Also in the digital category is the award for overall excellence in digital. So there is only one finalist in this category. The winner is CBC Prince Edward Island, cbc.ca Prince Edward Island Digital News Team.
On now to select winners in the multi-platform category. We start with continuing coverage this time around. The finalists are CTV Atlantic, Lexi's Legacy, Better Mental Health Resources for NB Youth, CBC Newfoundland and Labrador, Thin Ice, Climate Change in Labrador and Indigenous-led responses to it, CBC Nova Scotia, Nova Scotia's desperate need for nurses, and CBC New Brunswick, Healthcare in Crisis. And the winner is CBC Newfoundland and Labrador, Thin Ice, Climate Change in Labrador and Indigenous-led responses to it.
The ice edge, to where we always had to go to hunt for seal, is much closer than it used to be.
When you're stuck and unable to go out and enjoy your surroundings with the sea ice and stuff, it makes you feel that much more isolated.
There are some young hunters that go off not really knowing what the ice conditions are like, and some people can go through, and something bad could happen, and it's just scary.
Also in multi-platform, the award for investigative excellence. There are 3 finalists in this category: CTV Atlantic, Saving Sammy, CBC Prince Edward Island, Hidden History, the Lennox Island Day School, and CBC New Brunswick, Leaving Dune. And the winner is CBC New Brunswick, Leaving Dune.
We turn now to the category we're most familiar with, and that is video. And we'll start with the award for breaking news. There are 3 finalists in this category: NTV for Signature Kitchens Fire, CTV Atlantic for Shelter Protest, Forced Eviction Prompts Chaos, and Global News Halifax, Halifax Encampment Evictions, Alexa McLean. And the winner is CTV Atlantic for Shelter Protest, Forced Eviction Prompts Chaos.
The news tonight, these scenes of chaos and multiple arrests in downtown Halifax this afternoon. Halifax police clashed with protesters opposing the removal of temporary homeless shelters and tents. Things seemed to get out of control by mid-afternoon, the police even using pepper spray to try to disperse the crowd that had gathered. The very latest on this situation tonight, live on CTV News at 6 o'clock.
Next, the award for news, live special events. There are 3 finalists in this category: Global News Halifax, Nova Scotia Election 2021, CTV Atlantic Election 2021, Nova Scotia Goes to the Polls, and CBC Nova Scotia Stronger Together. And the winner is CBC Nova Scotia Stronger Together.
One year ago, Nova Scotia faced the unthinkable. A man masquerading as an RCMP officer, an act of violence spanning more than 13 hours through the center of our province, from Portapique to Enfield, claiming the lives of 22 Nova Scotians, leaving families shattered and a province and a country in disbelief.
And finally tonight, the award for Best Television Newscast. There are 3 finalists for this one: CTV Atlantic, CTV News at 6, August 18th, Global News Halifax, first anniversary of the Nova Scotia mass shooting, April 18th, and CBC Prince Edward Island, CBC News Compass. And the winner is Global News Halifax, first anniversary of the Nova Scotia mass shooting, April 18th.
We are live this evening in Truro, Nova Scotia, in the heart of Colchester County. The shooting began on April 18th, 2020, in the small community of Portapique. Just behind me here is First United Church, where a special ceremony took place this afternoon to remember and to honor the loved ones who were lost. Hundreds of people took part in races, including a marathon and a half marathon that began in Portapique. Many questions remain unanswered about how this could have happened. The man responsible for the killing rampage is dead. There will not be a trial. The police investigation has been shrouded in secrecy.
East Region winners will now compete with winners from Central, Prairies, and West Regions for the Best Canadian Local News Awards. Those winners will be announced at RTDNA Canada's 2022 National Awards Gala on Saturday, June 11th, 2022. Information on how to register for the conference and the gala will be posted on RTDNA Canada's website, rtdnacanada.com.
I think that's just about it, isn't it? That's it for the East Region RTDNA Canada Awards. You can find a full list of winners for this region online. It's at rtdnacanada.com. Now, we want to thank all of our judges who so generously gave of their time and experience, and to all the newsrooms who entered this year's competition. Thank you. Please keep RTDNA Canada Awards in mind whenever you do something you feel is deserving of recognition. Good luck, and again, congratulations to all of our winners. Thank you, everyone. Have a great evening.